Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another RPG News Roundup, this time for August 10th, 2024, where each week I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. As always, we will start with computer and console role-playing game news. Fairy Tale Dungeons is set to release this month. Slated for August 26th, it is a deck-building roguelike with characters from the Fairy Tale series. It's part of an indie game guild project that will have two additional releases, Beach Volleyball Havoc and Birth of Magic, all featuring fairy tale characters. Neither of those is an RPG. I'm going to have to look into them anyway. I actually really like Fairy Tale. Dragonero, The Rise of Drakir, is set to release on September 26th. It will target the PC. Based on an Italian comic series, it'll be a turn-based RPG featuring 5 playable characters, each with their own storyline prior to the main campaign. Within the Cosmos is set to release on October 4th. It'll be a sci-fi first-person RPG / first-person shooter hybrid. It has you exploring planets, uncovering mysteries, and so forth. The Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered Collection is going to get a new retail release and a new physical one at that. The Anniversary Edition will target the PS4 and the Switch and will hit on October 8th. Originally released a while back, the new version will have some new features, including pixel text instead of the Android text, which some people complain about, and will be available as a physical release on stores other than Square Enix's online store, so I'll have to actually keep an eye out for that one as well. Neptunia Game Maker, Our Evolution, is going to hit the Xbox Series X/S this October. An action RPG in the Neptunia series is already available on PlayStation and Switch platforms. Dragon Age, The Veil Guards, the next iteration of the Dragon Age series, looks like it'll be released at the end of this year. It'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. Honestly, I haven't played any of them since Dragon Age 2. I never finished that one. I probably should. I've got Inquisition. I never actually, fired it up. Anyway, the first Berserker Kazan is set for release in 2024. It'll be an action RPG that targets the PC, the PS5, and the Xbox Series X/S. It has you playing a hero who is falsely accused of treason and exiled to the mountains. And, they uncover mystical powers there. Anyway, Save Seeker is due next year. It'll be a turn-based RPG targeting the PC that features the daughter of a time traveler once hailed as a hero and her toy dragon sidekick. Apparently her father is now set to destroy the world, so she must join forces with the former bosses her father once defeated. Alabaster Dawn has been announced from the same people behind Crosscode. It'll be a top-down 2.5D action RPG for the PC set in a world of ruin. While there is no hard date set for release, Fate Reawakened will be a bundle of remasters, the action RPG entries in the Fate series, which I believe is a dungeon crawler series. It'll include the original title, as well as the sequels Undiscovered Realms, The Traitor's Soul, and The Cursed Kingdom, or Cursed King, and target the PC. As far as actual releases go, Deathbound saw its release. It is a party-based action RPG where you switch between fallen warriors with their own unique skills, styles, and history. Fields of Mystery saw its release to early access. It is a farming / life sim style RPG with magic, romance, adventure, and so forth. Then there's Heroes Emblem 2, a JRPG that has elements of side-scrollers as well as a match 3 gameplay kind of set into it. Sulphur Memories Alchemist is a traditional style roguelike with a focus on crafting and discovery, or as you explore a procedurally generated world as a former apothecary. It is in early access. Skillsword is a party-based RPG with turn-based isometric view, where you lead a party through the wilds in the name of the king. It is also in early access. Skeletrone, the Chronicles of Ericona, is a 2D platformer RPG, or a platformer with RPG elements, a Metroidvania with Souls-like inspired combat. Burning Branch is an action roguelike with side-scroller presentation that seems to focus around a boss rush style set of play. Holy Heroes is a pixel art style adventure RPG with co-op gameplay for up to 4 players using split-screen presentation. It includes roguelike elements such as procedurally generated worlds and so forth. Dream Warrior is another retro pixel-based RPG with turn-based combat and a sort of comedy styling. You enter a dream world to face off against the Demon Lord. I was actually given a review copy of this. I should probably go ahead and do a quick playthrough real quick because it looked pretty neat from what I'd seen when I fired up. I've just been so slammed I never got the chance to go through it. Anyway, Elemental Worlds, a roguelike action RPG with pixel art presentation where you improve your skills and defeat hordes of monsters within a procedurally generated world. Finally, there is Depersonalization, a pixel graphic investigative RPG with apparently tabletop role-playing elements, and it has branching narratives, a set of scenarios, and is influenced by kind of a light Call of Cthulhu style thing. Onward towards tabletop role-playing game news, it looks like there were a number of video redactions and takedowns regarding coverage of the recent Player's Handbook, which is absolutely a new edition from Dungeons & Dragons. The 2024 edition has been covered by a number of channels that are still interested in that sort of thing. They had gone over more of the book than Wizards of the Coast was apparently comfortable with. Apparently a number of these actually verified it was okay beforehand and still got struck. Some wires must have got crossed somewhere along the line. Unfortunately, this did result in strikes on some of these channels, not all of them, but some of them. I hope that can be undone because that can seriously impact YouTubers' channel. And in fact, I personally do flip through reviews of independent role-playing game books, and it's a constant worry of mine that I'll say something that person didn't particularly like, and they'll copyright strike my review. In fact, I've declined to review some books because the people who produce them seem to have that kind of personality where they do that. Now, the stated reason for Wizard of the Coast doing this was fear of piracy, like somebody's going to go through and like screenshot each page. I don't think that passes the smell test. I've got my suspicions as to why they didn't want a full flip-through review on this thing, but I'm going to keep those to myself. Good luck to those people that got struck. Anyway, onward towards minor and PDF releases. Orphan Bookworm Productions has a major creation, Bloodlord, for the Pathfinder 1st Edition. It is a full 20-level class designed around manipulating and using the blood in your body and that of others. They also have Contact Other Plane, a world of final adventures for 5th edition. This one includes a 20-level class inspired by Knights of the Round, and the whole series of that is inspired by Final Fantasy series, so there's that. Astralon, a Realm of Meriden, is a 5th edition compatible setting, also compatible with other D20-based systems, with a fully detailed world map, some continent zoomed-in maps, a number of capitals, kingdoms, geographic features, major locations, deities, magic items, and more. Grimm Press has more in their Cavern Crawl adventures released for 5th edition this week. There's Cavern Crawl number 51, Light Sanctum, number 52, Radiant Quarry, and number 53, Starlit Hollow. There is Kelphasil's Tales, who has a number of 5th edition adventures out this week. There's Forbidden Magic, Forest Lights, Death and Taxes, Kobold Secrets, and Cleansing of Avathorn. Lock In at the Blind Raven is a 5th edition tavern one-shot with spooky themes where the characters are trapped in an old inn on the top of a hill. Adventure Ripples has 2 offerings. There's a Wings of Vengeance, a 5th edition adventure for level 4 characters, and there's Guilds of Ethelon, a 5th edition collection of guilds within their world, their campaign world, that span all their adventures, along with those goals, structures, membership, and more. Dwarves of Iron is an offering for 5th edition from the Ordinum series. This one is an adventure where the characters are approached by an official who wants them to find out what happened or what a dwarven prospector is getting up to. The Void's Embrace is a 5th edition adventure set in a realm known as the Void, with modular encounters and dynamic storytelling to essentially present a replayable campaign. Valhek's Guide to Treasure Hunting is a 5th edition offering that includes new subclasses, backgrounds, a bunch of monsters, magic items, spells, and so forth, with pixel art, illustrations revolving around treasure hunting. Epic Heroes Encyclopedia Volume 5 Fighters is another entry into the series of 5th edition offerings that presents options to play characters from level 20 to 30, this time featuring fighters. D12 Monthly, issue 38, issues a wilderness exploration offering. Technically for a number of systems, although I think they lean towards the old school. It includes links, articles, and so forth. A new base class for old school games, some new kits, some rules and role building techniques, and so forth. Relics and Realms, issue 3, Underhollow, is a 5th edition adventure, part of a series revolving around a underground capital city carved into the cavern walls. Warren, Volume 1, is the start of another 5th edition magazine, this one featuring various nautical material, including new races, subclasses, magic items, spells, and a new adventure. Hexen, Daughters of the Moon and Magic, is a 5th edition supplement with a new class, various subclasses, a new magic system, new gear, NPCs, and so forth. Looks around some sort of fashion witch, or just generally a witch in general, but they call them Hexen. Anyway, RPG Gamer has another set of 5th edition classes. This one suited for feudal Japan. There's the Samurai, the Ninja, the Sohei, and the Onyoshi. Mystic Herbs Compendium for 5th edition is exactly what it says, a guide to mystical plants inspired by literature, myths, and legends, as well as stats to go with them. A Runesmith's Guide to Enchantment is a 5th edition offering covering turning magic or mundane items into magical ones. Jesus. All right. Kobold Press has a Book of Hexcrawl Part 5 Encounters, which expands on the Hexcrawl material that they presented in their past, with what to put in there, such as landmarks, hidden encounters, encounter tables, and so forth. Lady Lyra's Blade is an adventure for Level Up Advanced 5th edition that revolves around pursuing a rogue princess across the emptying wars. Dragon Vault Magazine number 48 includes a material for 5th edition and Shadowdark as a compilation of adventures, lore, cartography, and other goodies. Elven Tower also has Harvest from Hell, a level 3 D&D as Shadowdark adventure, with a small village has been struck by tragedy when a local botanist has been experimenting with some magical fertilizer. Formoria is a campaign setting for the Shadowdark RPG. Although quite a bit of material within it is actually system agnostic, so it can be used with anything. It deals with a setting that's influenced by the 4th century Dark Ages Europe set around the northern fringes of civilization. Neon Bright is a Shadow Dark hack that focuses around a cyber fantasy kind of world, including both fantasy and cyberpunk elements, similar to some other systems that have been produced in the past. The Bounty Hunter is a new class for Old School Essentials, effectively a new type of ranger that brings in their targets alive. Perilous Pamphlet Pack is a set of 2 double-sided trifold brochure adventures for Old School systems, as well as PDFs of the inside and outside content of the physical box that came with the physical bundle of this, although that's mostly for tables and such, so, I guess there's that. Tales of Zimrala is a Monsters offering that is a collection of fantasy stories, but also includes 2 short GM adventures for that system and that setting. The Alchemist Fire is a Dragonbane adventure, part of a Sisters 3 adventure series that has you exploring a mysterious town trying to right the wrongs of 2 brothers. Stopping the Raid on Road's End is a solo Dragonbane adventure where various humanoids are returning to Vale after a decade of absence. The Ancient Tree is another Dragonbane adventure, this time set within the Misty Vale and has a couple battle maps and some new monsters. Torchbearer, the Tower of Ilmir Fens, is a 1st or 2nd level scenario dealing with a tower that has appeared atop a desolate tor within the Fens. Snow, Salt, and Blood is an easy D6 offering for use of the 4 Horsemen supplement. Trail of Heroes is a new tabletop RPG set in a new unique setting full of various swallowing evils as well as unstable empires. Adventures in the Household is an RPG revolving around little folks such as boggarts, fairies, sprites, and so forth, basically kind of fairy kind of creatures, within an abandoned house. This is the core. There's the core rule book. There's also the expansions, Such Small Matters, that includes new characters, adventures, and so forth. And then the Household Guide, another expansion that offers additional information on the various nations within the house, new historical characters, equipment, some new rooms, mysteries, contracts, and more material. Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Soulbound Ruins of the Past, covers a group of detours and destinations that can be used as sort of one-shot exploration between adventures, or is the culmination of a particular series. The Silvestri Family Reunion, Spawn of the Dragon, covers an evil family within the Champions universe that deals with a clan that traffics in dark magic. Eclipse Phase, Mind the WMD, Re-Sleeved, is a scenario that brings the Scum Swarm to life. It can be used to start a Firewall campaign, is loosely connected with the opening fiction in Eclipse Phase 2nd edition. Alpha Cephi is a sci-fi RPG featuring space exploration meant to be compatible with pre-existing content with Cepheus engine style games. Street Knight from Zozor Games offers resources for the Cepheus Universal and is a campaign book based on the late 70s and early 80s TV shows like the A-Team, Knight Rider, and so forth. Mirrormount is a sci-fi RPG campaign written for Traveller and similar systems that is sci-fi with supernatural undertones revolving around a Rip-Rig space station and the events around it. Protocol Space is a sci-fi RPG using the roll-up base system with streamlined simple play, but with the addition of ship-to-ship combat and other operations. Finally, there is Planetbound Book 1, a science fantasy RPG with a new die strength system that has gone into in great detail in there, but is a little bit dry to read right here. With that, I'll move on to crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of even receiving a product mentioned here. Is not an endorsement, but it is for informational purposes only. And this week, I didn't really see any computer and console campaigns that caught my eye, so we're going to dive right into tabletop campaigns. We'll start with Amazing Encounters in Dungeons, a 5th edition supplement that will look to include over 100 independently scalable dungeon rooms within 10 ready-to-play dungeons, but you can take them out and use them individually. Forgotten Burial Caverns looks like it's going to be a dynamic tactical adventure module designed for 5th editions, while Shadow Dark meant for drop-and-play insertion into pretty much any campaign, or you can use it as a one-shot. It'll focus on tactical encounters with both monsters and environment hazards and be themed around dungeon exploration. Ordinum is looking to fund some future releases into that campaign wall. I covered one of their things prior to this. I have covered them in the past as well. This looks to basically fund additional general artwork, proofreading, and promotion, as well as to provide the author some sort of backing while this is getting up and running to make that campaign setting sustainable. Good luck. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but hey, more power if he gets it. Tome of Terrors Volume 6 will feature 3 mini one-shot adventures, each focused around a new creature from the deep sea for 5th edition, as well as associated 3D models that can be used on a 3D printer. Sly Flourishes, City of Arches is a high fantasy city sourcebook compatible with any 5th edition and other fantasy RPG system, offering a site of endless adventure that you can drop into any campaign setting. Warren, Issue 3, looks to be another entry into a 5th edition-based magazine, this one focused on gothic horror and supernatural content. ATR Survivor Starter will be a 5th edition introduction to Apocalypse the Rise campaign setting, and it will look like it'll fund Roll20 versions as well. Grab and Go Demons Abound will be a collection of 30 detailed demonic beings for 5th edition with their own artwork, backstories, and so forth. Nightmare and Mythology Monster Collection will be a selection of 30 unique new monsters for 5th edition, including 20 of them based on mythology from various cultures. The Cave Giant and Sporefolk Guide will be a 5th edition collection of monster lore stat blocks as well as model SDLs featuring, of course, Cave Giants and Sporefolk. The Amethyst Dragon's Horde of Everything will be a massive 5th edition game supplement with a collection of options ranging from subclasses to species, feats, added abilities, items, equipment, new spells, magic items, treasures, etc. Just all over the board, really. Daredon's Evolving Wands will be a 5th edition compatible supplement that collects wands that grow in power with the one who attunes them. Cooking Craft will be a new set of 5th edition mechanics, ingredients, enchanting effects, etc., revolving around cooking up meals from various materials you find. Mirth and Magic, a cartoony collection, is to be a cartoon-themed 5th edition supplement with various archetypes, items, spells, all those sort of whimsical idea behind them. The Dungeon Builder's Guide to Dungeon Design made simple will be a 5th edition handbook for designing dungeons, but will also include a number of system-neutral materials within it, just covering the design process in general, which can be useful. The Shucked Oyster will be a Shadow Dark RPG supplement revolving around a cursed brothel. Cosmere role-playing game looks to be a tabletop RPG based on the material of Brandon Sanderson. It will include things like Stormlight, Mistborn, and so forth under a single unified system. Necrovenge will be a solo tabletop RPG all about rebuilding dungeons and taking revenge on the adventurers who intrude within them. Age of Chivalry Men-at-Arms will be a medieval tabletop RPG based on historical research of the medieval era. It'll include a skill system, historical banking system, a number of cultural backgrounds, dynamic war campaigns, etc. Medieval Tales will be a fantasy RPG set in war-torn 15th century France, this time with superstition, folklore, and fairy tales being very real within it. Primordial Chaos from Avengers Satanas will be a guide to making games more gonzo, while also making it more accessible to both novices and veteran gamers. Faraway Land 2nd Edition will be a 10th anniversary revision of Faraway Land RPG. It is a science fantasy RPG in a unique setting with colorful art, rules like guidelines where you adventure in an unpredictable world. This reminds me vaguely of like Adventure Time. Anyway, Torn is a mystery and horror RPG where you are dead but don't realize it yet. Instead, you wake up with no memory of who you were, so you have to go out, figure out who you were, and then find out what happened to you. House of Steel looks to be a world book for Metahumans Rising that offers new powers, boons, and tools, as well as a new setting within it. Enemies Unleashed will be a super supplement for Savage Worlds filled with various villains and adventure hooks for a superhero campaign with foes ranging from street-level rogues to globe-threatening powers. Entromancy, a definitive edition, is a new version of a cyberpunk fantasy tabletop RPG where you play a character in a technologically driven futuristic world where magic has returned. Scoundrels of Brixton, Phantoms of Unav is a sci-fi setting of crime and conflict compatible with Traveler or Cepheus-derived systems, focusing around a gang of interstellar drug manufacturers. Finally, and I'm only covering this because it really was goofy. I need to bring back the goofy thing of the week. There is Fishblade, a one-page RPG where you pick a fish, and then you pick a blade, and then you play it. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler, my RPG News Roundup for August 10th, 2024. As always, links will be below. If you like what you see, remember to leave a like, comment on your feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.